Welcome to a special summer bonus episode of the Food Professor Podcast, recorded live in our on-site podcasting studio at the SIAL Food Innovation Show in Toronto.
Over 3 great days in May, Sylvain and I met dozens of food innovators and thought leaders. These are their stories.
I'm sure you will enjoy hearing these incredible interviews as much as we enjoy hosting the conversations. Stay tuned for Season 4 of the Food Professor Podcast, Canada's top food industry and Canadian-produced independent management podcast, when we return live on the mic Thursday, September 21st.
Tracy, welcome back to the Food Professor Podcast. How are you?
Michael, it's so good to be here with you. I am well. I'm well and having fun.
Fantastic. Well, this is your second time on the podcast. We're here live at the SIAL show. We were talking off mic. We're asking if you were getting tired of winning. Because yet again, you have...
You're going to run out of space at home.
Yeah, you're going to run out of space in the trophy cupboard. But listen, you're here. You've won a big award. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. For those who didn't hear our first interview, who are you? What do you do for a living? And introduce briefly your product, then we're going to do some sampling.
Yes.
My name is Tracy Bell, and I'm the co-founder of Millennia TEA. We exist to help people live better, longer. We believe that plants have the power to naturally heal insofar as food can be medicine. Mm-hmm. And so our product is, we work with small-scale farmers. We pick tea leaves at their nutritional prime. We wash them, we flash freeze them. We make tea food, a way to help people feel good now and support their long-term wellness.
So unpack a couple of things for me. One, where do you source your tea, if there's a single country? And then 2, where are you based?
Yeah, so we're based on the East Coast in beautiful St. John, New Brunswick.
Very nice.
And
it is beautiful.
It is beautiful.
It's hidden gem.
Yeah.
Hidden gem. And we source from central Sri Lanka. So from the mountains in central Sri Lanka, we work with small-scale organic family farms primarily that are part of the Marginalized Organic Producers Association. We've sourced previously from some other countries, from Kenya, from Colombia. Sri Lanka is where we've really found the home for our product.
We had, on the podcast, we had a gentleman from Sri Lanka, and he was a taste tester, Joby.
Yep.
He was educating us about how sophisticated basically it is in Sri Lanka and how much tea they make.
Such an interesting conversation.
So interesting.
Yep.
Key revenue driver for that country.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Now, what do you do that is so different with your tea that is different? You've hinted at it, but tell us about the product and why it's so award-winning in a category that didn't exist before you got there.
Yeah, so we didn't come to tea from a place of loving tea. We came to it from a health scare in our family, and so we cared very much about plants that heal. Tea and matcha kept coming up for their ability to help, repair cellular damage and fight free radical damage. And so we learned that if you keep the plant, it's the same for all vegetables, right? If you pick the plant and you keep it in its live form, that will help it to deliver the maximum functional benefit. So we care about keeping the plant in its purest and most naturally powerful format. So we pick the same leaves that you would use for a high-grade green tea, but then we wash them and we flash freeze them. So instead of drying and cooking the plant so it sits on a shelf, we wash and we flash freeze. And so we make tea food. We want it to be that functional ingredient that you can put in your smoothie, say, to deliver energy, antioxidants, L-theanine, some other vitamins and minerals. And that's what we do, a barrier to the tea industry, to people who are like health conscious. But lots of folks, either they don't love hot beverages or they can't get over that bitterness, that acidity that you sometimes get with the quality green tea or matcha. And so we address that because we don't cook the leaves. They don't have that acidic aftertaste.
Right. Can we taste your product?
Yeah, you sure can. So
Yes.
instead of making a hot tea, I prepared what we call an immunity shot. So lemon, ginger root, a little bit of local honey. We have bees, and then a couple of our tea cubes to just support strong immune function. And for me, it illustrates the fact that we want you to consume it in full, not just drink the elixir from a beverage. So I'll serve you up now.
Now, while you're pouring, I'm holding in my hand a frozen cube of tea leaves. Now, this is what's super interesting. And when you look at them, right, check that out, Sylvain, they're like tea leaves as you say, flash frozen in a cube about, what's that, about like a few centimeters by a few centimeters, right?
Yeah, like an inch by an inch, yeah.
And what we're about to drink, you've put that in to a blender. Looks like you've got a great blender there, and then mix it all in, right?
Yep.
All right.
Cheers, friends.
Cheers.
All
Cheers.
right.
Cheers. Boy, I think we need this after being in a big conference for 3 days.
So then I think there's a little chunk of mango in yours too, when you get that little surprise.
A couple.
Yeah.
So good. So I feel better already.
I feel immune.
I do.
I feel immune.
Right,
Like,
listen,
totally.
I should have been pumping this stuff, and I'm a bit of germaphobe. I should have been drinking this stuff the whole show.
I should have known. I would have brought you. I would have been your supplier, your source.
I love it.
It's a thirst cruncher. Like it's
Yeah.
surprising. Yeah.
It's good. And EGCG, the powerhouse antioxidant in tea. If you drink tea, you drink it for EGCG antioxidants, whether you know it or not. If you're drinking it for the health benefits. So EGCG antioxidants, there was a University of Kansas study that found them to be 100 times more powerful than vitamin C, 25 times more powerful than vitamin E at supporting that immune function.
Right.
So when you take tea and you take honey and ginger, you know how people always say, ginger, lemon, tea, when you're not feeling super well.
That's right.
The compounds, the way they act together. So lemon will help with the bioavailability, help it better absorb in the gut. And the compounds in a raw honey and tea work so synergistically. So there is like real science behind why that will help you feel better sooner.
Wow.
So we drank a small sample. Delicious. How many kinds do you have? Like how many?
So for us, we literally have the tea leaf.
That's it.
Yeah. People ask all the time, like, do you do a black tea? Do you do a green tea?
Okay, so it's just that's it.
And
then you can add whatever.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so add it to your smoothie. What we hope people will do, because I actually want you to consume the leaf in full, I don't want you to just drink the liquid, because when you eat it as a plant, you're going to get 2 grams of plant protein. There's phosphorus, there's chlorophyll, there's potassium and fiber, obviously, in the leaves themselves.
Yeah.
And so you get those essential vitamins and minerals in addition to the L-theanine that's getting its day in the sun right now for its ability to help reduce stress, the antioxidants, and then caffeine. There's 60 milligrams of caffeine in one of our servings. For green tea, it's about 35 milligrams.
Okay.
Matcha can vary a little bit. Black tea's a little bit higher. Coffee's between 90 and 120 grams. But 60 is known as the sweet spot to give you the lift.
Okay.
And then the L-theanine, the antioxidants, make it so that you don't get the jitters and the crash. That's where it gets its superpower.
Can you drink too much of this per day, or can you drink as much as you want?
No, there's some studies that have come out that say you don't want to overdo it on EGCG antioxidants, but that's talking about when they pull out that antioxidant, put it in a capsule, make it an extract on its own without the other compounds, and you like overdo it in taking many, many, many pills over the course of a day.
Highly concentrated.
Right.
Super concentrated, right?
Exactly. Naturally, you won't get that. You can't really, I mean, if you want to drink, I would not drink more than 5 or 6 cups
Right.
of our tea, but you're not gonna overdo it.
So, what did you win today? What did you win at the show? Talk about your award today.
Right. So we were, so it's so exciting. It's so exciting. But so we were named the gold winner in the SIAL Innovation
So
Award.
when you go to the innovation booth, Tracy's product is on top of the podium. Absolutely. There you go. It's all deserved.
And it's wonderful because SIAL is known as the food innovation show. So to win the big innovation prize when there are multiple countries that had sort of submitted for the awards, it means a lot to us for a company at our stage where we're really new and we're doing something that is category creating. It's category creating because we don't live in the food, tea, and coffee aisle. And when I say frozen super cubes or raw tea, the consumer doesn't get a picture in their mind's eye. And then when I ask you to eat it instead of drink it, it's hard to imagine. And so something like this, an honor like this, it really lends credibility to what we're building and the good we want to do in the world.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, were you surprised by the SIAL recognition? I mean, this is not your first award.
So
you've received many awards already.
I'll answer that by saying we know we have something really special.
It's not your first award. You won at Canadian Grand Prix last year. Like, you've got a bit of a track record in people recognizing your innovation.
We do, and it helps us get conversations. It helps carry forward conversations for us. It's certainly always a moment of surprise and delight and joy for us. This is the first international food innovation show that we've ever attended. But it's an awesome.
So this is your first SIAL?
Correct.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But I hope this doesn't sound like it comes from a place of ego, but I don't apply for awards that I don't think we stand a good chance to be considered for. And I know that there aren't a lot of companies, because the functional food and beverages market is growing so rapidly, and as personal health technologies are getting to the point where we can now almost predict that we're going to live longer, and we're waiting for technologies that all of that's kind of coming down the pipeline. People are going to become so much more intentional and conscientious about the foods that we're putting into our bodies and what we're putting on our skin. So we know there's a place for what we're doing. We know we're on that important journey of food as medicine as that gets bigger and bigger. So we know we're in the right place, even though we're still really early days. So the job for us becomes like, don't run out of runway. Just keep puttering along, do the work you need to do while you wait for the market to get it.
You mentioned a few times now that you're creating a category, and I tend to agree, but how would you name that category?
That is the hardest part. So company's called Millennia TEA. If I could go back in time, I would change the name. And so we call it, we call our product Super Cubes, and we call it the frozen edible tea category. If you have any suggestions on how we can better get that message out.
Listeners, send us a note.
I don't know how you feel, Michael, but I actually do think that tea is having a moment the last few years because of our health focus and all that. And people are looking beyond coffee. They're looking for different options to take care of themselves and all that, and mental health issues.
Well, I mean, there's got to be some upside of this COVID era we went through, and one of them might be a little more focus on personal health and just thinking about it and all those things.
Because I don't see your product as just like a product that is riding the tea wave. It's more than that, I think. And so that's why it's critical for all of us to consider are we going to categorize this thing?
Yeah.
You know
what they say about pioneers, right? They get the dirt in the faces and the arrows in the back. So let's talk about you and the trade. So really, you've captured lightning in a bottle, so to speak, with a consumer who's looking for better choices. How are the conversations going over time with the trade, the grocers, and how do those conversations take us into that briefly, that conversation, and how that's going?
Yeah, so we're learning over time that we work very well in a retail environment where there's an opportunity for us to educate staff, and where there's an opportunity for us to educate the end consumer through demos and different community events. Full transparency, we struggle in mass grocery with velocity. We went there because those were the doors that were open. We launched a scalable product that was like in COVID. So we went to the doors that were open to us.
Sure.
Now we're doing the work to try and support the brand in the doors that we really should be in to start. In terms of conversations with industry, grocers are looking at, we don't have a frozen beverages section. We don't have a frozen better for you beverages section. And we're not the only ones who are coming out with innovations that are frozen that live in the freezer. So what I imagine is that I'd like to collaborate with some of these other brands who are doing like pre-made smoothies from whole food ingredients, or there's a few different opportunities there. I'd like to get together, work with a retailer directly to say, let's carve out a section in the freezer for functional foods and beverages.
But you also could become an ingredient company as well.
I would like that very much. So that's actually our objective for this show is I want so much to be in every smoothie shop in Canada and North America and beyond because when you go, that the elixirs, the wellness shots, the smoothie bars are increasing, and consumers are looking for, so you can put your protein shot in, you can put your collagen shot in, so you've got your strength building, your stay full component, you've got your health and beauty component with collagen, but the energy component is missing, where you actually get some caffeine. Most people won't put a matcha shot in their smoothie because the taste, it alters the taste noticeably,
Right.
And it alters the texture. We blend in like spinach, and so there's an opportunity for that. So I would like very much to be an ingredient, because our role is get this into the hands of people it can help, more than I want to build a brand of distinction, but we know that's going to be a long road.
Your Sobeys award caught my attention. I mean, so the number 2 retailer in the country gave you an award, recognized the value of your product. That must have felt good. I mean, you're basically moving the needle with a major grocer, which a major player. That grocer is recognizing that there's a future here.
Sobeys has been an incredible partner to us. I don't know if it's because they start in Atlantic Canada and East Coasters. We're all kind to each other. Yeah. But we're so fortunate they gave us a chance when they didn't have to. And then when we wanted to be available to consumers in other parts of the country, they put us in those stores nationally. And even though, again, I'm an open book, even though my velocities aren't yet what they would want to see them at for a fast-moving good, even though we're still niche, they're still being patient and supportive, knowing that it's coming. And for that, I'll be eternally grateful.
I mean, they're great merchants, and they can see success in an idea when they see it, right? It's just all kind of how it evolves. Well, listen, this has been great. Great to have you back on the mic. How can people go learn? Are you, A, get in touch, so you're a LinkedIn person, and B, learn more about your product, and C, maybe even pick some up online. So drop some social media links and all that stuff for us.
Right, so we are online. I'm personally active online. Tracy, Tracy, Bell. You'll find me on LinkedIn. That's the platform I spend time on. Okay. And then we're millenniatea.com. All of our socials will be a version of Millennia _T or Millennia TEA for Instagram. We're pretty active on social media. Millennia is MILLENNIATEA.com. If I could change it, I would, but I can't now.
Done and done. Well, we'll put links in the show notes. So
you'll create divisions within your empire and come up with new brands.
Exactly.
I love it. I'm open. I love it. Receiving all of it. Thank you.
That's right. Congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
If you like what you heard, please follow us on Apple, Spotify, your favorite podcast platform, so you can catch up with all our great interviews, including celebrity chef, restaurateur, and entrepreneur, Chuck Hughes. These summer SIAL bonus episodes of the show will be released every Thursday, and be sure to tell all your friends and colleagues in the food service, grocery, and restaurant industry all about us.
I'm Sylvain Charlebois, the food professor, author of 8 books, and senior director of the Agri-Food Analytics Lab at Dalhousie University.
And I'm Michael LeBlanc, consumer retail growth consultant, keynote speaker, and producer and host of a series of retail trade podcasts, including this one. You can learn more about me on LinkedIn. Have a safe summer, everyone.
Bon été tout le monde.